Hi choir, great work with our last anthem, God of Our Fathers. Our next anthem is a lively arrangement of Since Jesus Came Into My Heart. The orchestra will be joining us, so this will be extra special. I would like to read to you a short history of this hymn so you can appreciate it on a deeper level as you make your video recording. I'll leave a link in the description box below to the website where I received this information. Since Jesus Came Into My Heart was written by Rufus Henry McDaniel. McDaniel was born in 1850 in Ohio. By the age of 19, he was already preaching and eventually became a minister of the Disciples of Christ Church in 1873. McDaniel wrote, I feel in my soul that God has something for me to do in brightening the experience of struggling souls. My chief desire is to be a blessing, if possible, to my fellow men through these hymns, and thereby glorify God in the name of His dear Son, whose I am and whom I serve. He and his wife, Margaret Dragoo, had 3 children, but their youngest son, Herschel, died in early 1913. After the untimely death of his son, McDaniel sat down and wrote the words of this hymn as a reminder of maintaining joy, faith, and hope in times of trial. He felt there was no better way to honor his son than to write music about his faith. He sent this poem and 5 other poems to Charles Hutchinson Gabriel, but when he never heard anything, figured his poems had been rejects. However, Gabriel added music to this poem. Then the song began to be sung at the Billy Sunday Crusades in 1915. The song became so popular that people began to sing the song in the streets of Philadelphia. It is reported that during these crusades, God used the lyrics of the song to convert an Officer Fowler of the Philadelphia Police Department. The officer convinced many of his followers to attend the services, and more than 100 professed their faith in Christ. Isn't it neat to know of the initial impact of this beloved and uplifting hymn? Incidentally, this is the only one of McDaniel's hymns which has survived in common usage. It's in our Cokesbury, number 84. You can see right there. But it's not in our newest hymnal. What a shame. Well, let's move on to the musical notes. Form. The form of this anthem is verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, chorus, and ending. No repeats, so keep turning the pages. Women sing all the way through the piece, but men drop out at several places. Nothing out of the ordinary, men, but just be mindful of when you sing and when you don't. And if you do sing at the wrong time, I'll just mute you because I'm in control. Phrasing and breathing. The phrases are generally short in this piece, which means you won't have any problems running out of breath. While it is easy to tell where to breathe, I corrected a few mistakes made by the editor and clarified a few places. Let me show you. Page 2 measures 20 to 21. I crossed out a breath mark at measure 21 because the choir on the demo recording doesn't breathe there. They breathe at the end of measure 20. And I also crossed out breath marks in 21. Let's look at that real fast. So we see right there, I changed those whole notes to dotted half notes. I added a rest, a quarter rest, and put a breath mark. And then you can see the next measure, I crossed out the breath marks. And I even added a squiggly arrow to remind you to keep singing through the phrase. Page 3, measure 35, I clarified the rhythms so you can see where to breathe. Let's look at that very quickly. Page 3, measure 35, right there. You see that? I added that quarter rest, so we breathe right on that 4th beat, okay? And there are several other places in the music where I have clarified the rhythms in the same way. Page 5, measure 66. I added a breath mark that is recorded on the demo track. Let me show you that very quickly. Right there. In to breathe, my heart. So I added this to the music because it's on the demo track and it makes sense. Okay? So the editor must have been trying to reach a deadline and wasn't careful. I'm glad I don't make mistakes. Squiggly arrows. I marked certain spots with squiggly arrows to remind you to carry through the phrase and not breathe. Pay attention to the arrows, it should be clear. Cutoffs. There are no tricky cutoffs in this piece, but do your best to be crisp and on target when you cut off. Dynamics and expression. The verses are mezzo forte and the choruses are forte. Now there's a special expression marking on page 4, measure 48, or a marcato, also called an accent, which is emphasized at the beginning and then you taper off quickly. It's followed by a crescendo back to forte. Let's look at that real fast. So in this accent, you say the word, you sing the word since very loudly, and then you back off and then crescendo through it. Since Jesus came into my heart. Listen to the way they do it in the recording and listen to this section leaders because they will do it flawlessly. Video. Great job on the videos. Y'all are getting better and better. Reminder to wait until the end of the video end of the conducting video before you stop video recording. Some people are stopping their videos too early. Please wait until the bell or the gong or whatever sound effect I choose until you stop video recording. If you have someone helping you with video recording, please tell them to wait until it's over so they don't just stop it right after you sing the last note. That's it. Enjoy recording this fun and uplifting anthem. I know that our church family and guests around the country and around the world are going to enjoy it. Bye.
Since Jesus came into my heart,
I have life in my soul, for it's all I have sought.
since Jesus came into my heart, since Jesus came into my heart, since Jesus came into my heart, floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea never flows. Since Jesus came into my heart.
I shall go there to dwell in that city of love,
Since Jesus came into my heart,
and I'm happy, so happy as long I know.
since Jesus came into my heart, since Jesus came into my heart, since Jesus came into my heart, floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea never flows. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart, since Jesus came into my heart, floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea